with the latest updates and insights on world news as it relates to Bible prophecy. Here's Alan Horvath. This is what the LameStream Media is not telling you.
Shalom, my friends, and welcome to this week's newscast. Iran's current time frame for acquiring enough high-enriched uranium to make a nuclear bomb, known as breakout time, is around 2 or 3 months. This means, regardless of all the politics that are being fabricated, Iran is on a very explosive edge of becoming a most ugly threat to all of us. Iran's parliament voted on Sunday, June 21st, to ban access to all military sites, documents, and scientists as part of a future deal with world powers over its nuclear program. And Parliament also demanded the complete lifting of all sanctions against Iran. Now, the Israeli military watches over Syria from the Golan Heights, but really, there is no more Syria, because now every village is for itself. Some are starving or cut off, and all are armed and run by the most violent who live among them, pledging allegiance to the warlords who best appear to be able to protect them. What Israeli officials see as replacing the states of the Middle East is an ethnic patchwork where the Jewish nation is surrounded by Shiite, Druze, Sunni, and Kurdish enclave states. What was once considered a flight of fancy of 1948 war hero Yigal Allon, that Israel needed to see the birth of Druze and Kurdish states to break the Arab hegemony in the Levant, is fast becoming a reality. During the Six-Day War, Israeli minister Yigal Allon put together a plan to establish a Druze state, again centered on Druze Mountain, whose population today numbers nearly 750,000. Allon explained, saying, quote, "I had visited Sueda," that is the capital of Druze Mountain, "several times, and I dreamed a dream of a Druze republic that would stretch across southern Syria, that would be in military alliance with Israel." Close quote. Over the decades, the Druze of Syria were just as loyal to the Assad regime as the Druze of Israel have been loyal to the Jewish nation. But now that the regime is on the verge of military collapse, all the forces that have been fighting the regime view the Druze as their enemies. And as a result, the Syrian Druze have been quietly reconsidering their views of Israel. Israel's Deputy Regional Cooperation Minister, Ayub Kara, a Druze, says that if the Druze are able to secure autonomy, their area would stretch along 150 kilometers of Israel's border with Syria. Turning to wars and rumors of wars, on Wednesday, June 17th, rebel rocket fire killed at least 34 civilians in Aleppo in one of the bloodiest days of the conflict for government-held areas of Syria's second city. 12 children were among the dead as Islamist rebel factions pounded western neighborhoods of the city with more than 300 rockets on Monday, June 15th. It's been reported that Egypt opened the Rafah border crossing between Gaza and Sinai, that's Sinai, last week, and that some 4,000 tons per day of cement has passed through unsupervised. Hamas is reconstructing its tunnels by taking over the cement that comes in from Israel, cement which is intended for the reconstruction of homes in Gaza. Speaking of tunnels, an amendment passed by the United States House on Wednesday views cross-border tunnels as a threat to America and its allies, pledging $40 million on research and development to find a solution in cooperation with Israel. Since 2009, over 150 tunnels have been discovered on the U.S.-Mexico border to smuggle illegal immigrants and drugs. Tunnels have also been used to attack U.S. military personnel in South Korea. Congressman Steve Israel, who initiated the amendment, explained, quote, "These tunnels are sophisticated. These are expressways underground. It's like the Queens Midtown Tunnel going from Gaza to Israel. They are ventilated. They are lit. They are massive. They are deep. They are huge. They are impenetrable. And they are very difficult to detect." Close quote. Then on Thursday, June 18th, a Catholic church near the Sea of Galilee in northern Israel was damaged by fire early on Thursday. Evidence found at the scene indicated that the fire was set deliberately. Firefighters extinguished the blaze before it reached the main prayer hall and the church's ancient mosaic floors. Then on Friday, June 19th, Samuel Rahamin Topaz, 21 years old, from Fort Lee, New Jersey, was charged with conspiracy to provide material support to ISIS. Topaz is the fourth U.S. citizen arrested in the greater New York area in less than a week. He told a friend that they promised him $7,000 a week and 4 wives. Danny Gonin, 25 years old, was murdered on Friday after being shot near Dolev in the West Bank. Gonin and another Israeli were driving in the area when a Palestinian signaled for them to stop, as if to ask for help, before firing at them at point-blank range. On Sunday, June 21st, an Israeli border police officer was stabbed in the neck at Damascus Gate outside the old city of Jerusalem. The officer sustained critical wounds but managed to critically wound his assailant. Prime Minister Netanyahu told the Israeli cabinet on Sunday, quote, "In the international proposals being made to us, which in effect they are trying to force on us, there is no reference to the security needs of the State of Israel and our other national interests. They are simply trying to push us into accepting indefensible borders while completely ignoring what will be on the other side of the border." Close quote. Why, my friends, is the EU planning to require labeling of all Israeli goods produced in the West Bank, Golan Heights, and East Jerusalem when such a treatment is not even considered for products from Chinese-occupied Tibet or Turkish-occupied Cyprus? How can we understand the French proposition, encouraged by many EU members, to impose a solution to the Israel-Palestinian conflict by declaring that Jerusalem, the holy city of Judaism, before there was Christianity or Islam, is Palestinian? Israel is treated by a totally different standard than any other country in the international system. Israel is the only UN member state whose very right to exist is under constant challenge. And Israel is the only UN member state that's been targeted for annihilation by another UN member state. Think about it. The leadership of Iran, together with Iran-funded proxies in Lebanon and Gaza, has repeatedly called for wiping Israel off the map. Is there any other country facing the threat of genocidal destruction? Israel is the only nation whose capital city, Jerusalem, is not recognized by other nations. The UN has 2 agencies dealing with refugees. UNRWA handles only the Palestinians, while UNHCR focuses on all the rest. Israel is the only country that is the daily target of 3 UN bodies established and staffed solely for the purpose of advancing the Palestinian cause and bashing Israel. That is the Committee on the Exercise of the Inalienable Rights of the Palestinian People, the Special Committee to investigate Israeli practices affecting the human rights of the Palestinian people, and the Division for Palestinian Rights in the UN's Department of Political Affairs. Indeed, astonishingly, each year Israel is on the receiving end of more resolutions than any other of the 192 UN member states combined. No one can seriously argue that this is even remotely warranted. You don't have to be a pro-Israel activist to be troubled by the grotesquely unjust treatment of Israel. All it takes is a capacity for moral outrage that things like this are happening today. Psalm 83, verses 3, 4, and 5, quote, "They lay crafty schemes against your people, Israel, and consult together against your hidden and precious ones." That is, Abba Father's hidden and precious ones, Israel. "They have said, 'Come and let us wipe them out as a nation. Let the name of Israel be in remembrance no more.' For they have consulted together with one accord and one heart. They make a covenant against you, Abba, Father, Yahuwah." And that, my friends, is what the LameStream Media is not telling you. Abba willing, I'll see you here again next week. Until then, stay safe. Shalom.
Make sure you hit that like button on YouTube, Facebook, or anywhere else you see it. You can share this video with all your favorite networks by clicking the share button below this video. For weekly insightful newscasts by Alan, make sure you click that YouTube subscribe button.
I don't like crowded rooms, I need more space than I consume. Enough is time alone with you, underneath a naked moon, sharing confidential moods and making chatter. Mockingbird nocturnal sings notations of eternal things, entering the quantum breeze, flying not for want of wings. He lights his gaze on you and me, simply because we matter.